Trauma doesn't just live in your past, it warps the way you see the present. A comment feels like disrespect, a look feels like rejection, a quiet moment feels like abandonment, and suddenly you're not living in reality. You're living in a story your nervous system is writing for you. Now, this is what trauma does. It doesn't just stay buried in the memory of what happened. It lives on in how you interpret the world. That's so important to understand. Just for example, someone cuts you off in traffic. You feel it as a personal attack. Your wife asks a question. You hear it as criticism when you're in dysregulation. Your boss gives you feedback. Just like normal everyday things. You take it as proof that you're not good enough in dysregulation. And here's the crazy part. To you, in that moment, it feels absolutely true. That's the trap trauma sets. It convinces you that the story you're experiencing is reality itself. Now, I know this one firsthand. For years, I lived in a world where every little thing felt like proof I was being disrespected, betrayed, or abandoned. It wasn't the world that was broken. It was my lens. And that lens was shaped by years of pain, years of rejection, years of moments where I felt unseen. So, of course, when my wife looked at me a certain way, or when someone raised their voice, my nervous system screamed, "Oh, here we go again. You're not safe. You're not valued. You're about to be hurt." It wasn't reality. It was trauma speaking through me. And here's what's really happening when trauma hits. It leaves a mark on your nervous system. Your brain gets wired to see threats everywhere. Your body stays in fight, flight, or freeze, even in moments that don't actually call for it. That's why a neutral comment can feel like an attack. That's why you can't tell the difference between someone disagreeing with you and someone abandoning you. Your body doesn't know the difference. It only knows the old wound. And that old wound hijacks the story. So just picture this. Your friend is late to meet you, for example. For someone without trauma, it's annoying, sure. They're just late. But for someone with unhealed wounds, it can feel like rejection. It can feel like betrayal. And see, I knew it. People always let me down. I don't matter. The reality is that your friend is just in traffic. The story your trauma tells, you're abandoned again. That's what I mean when I say trauma warps reality. And by the way, the Bible actually warns us about this kind of distorted vision. In Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23, it says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." If your heart is carrying unhealed wounds, then everything you see, everything you feel, everything you do flows through that pain. But here's the good news. God doesn't leave us trapped in those false stories. Jesus said in John chapter 8, verse 32, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." That truth isn't just facts. It's a person. It's his presence cutting through the lies trauma tells. So what do we do when trauma warps our reality? 3 things. 1, pause and name it. Learn to notice when your reaction feels bigger than the situation. That's usually a sign your trauma is driving the story. And 2, regulate your fire. Slow down, breathe, get your nervous system back into a grounded state. Until you're regulated, you really cannot see clearly. And 3, anchor in truth. Ask, what's really happening here? What's the story God is telling, not my trauma? So let's take marriage for an example. Your wife sighs after you say something. Your trauma says she's tired of you. You're failing again. Reality says she just had a long day. If you react to the trauma story, you'll get defensive, shut down, or lash out. But if you regulate your fire, if you anchor in truth, you can respond with curiosity. Hey, I noticed you sighed. Are you okay? You see the difference? One response deepens the wound. The other response deepens the connection. So let me ask you, where in your life has trauma been warping your reality? Where have you been reacting to the story in your head instead of the truth in front of you? Listen, trauma will always try to write this last story, the last word, but it doesn't get to. Not when you learn to regulate your fire, not when you anchor in truth, not when you let Christ's voice be louder than the lies. Because the truth is this: you're not your trauma. You are not your wounds. You are not the story your pain tries to make you believe. You are chosen. You are loved. You are called to forge something greater. Now, if this hits home for you, don't just scroll past it. Take a minute, pause, breathe, and ask, where has trauma been shaping my story? And if you want tools to actually regulate your fire and heal your marriage, this is what I do. This is why I coach men who feel like rage is ruining their relationships. Book a Forge session at the link below. Don't just survive your story. Rewrite it.